Morning all from me, B. It is a glorious day considering just over a week ago we had snow. Today I'm going to talk about empathy. Empathy is where you take into consideration, and again this may not be true to everyone, but this is my version and the one that I adopt. Having empathy is having concern or consideration over a situation or the situation of another where you could say that they don't know any better. They either lack the intelligence being learning, they lack the motivation, the need, in some cases the pain, to be any more than they are being right now or based on their projection. And it falls in line with what I was saying the other week about people are not their behaviour but a byproduct of external events or their interpretation of external events producing a behaviour. And in line with that, projection from them becomes choices that you have, again we've spoken about choices, on how you deal with that projection. Because there are many different paths that you can follow. You can take the hardball approach, you can take an aggressive approach, you can take any kind of approach to deal with the situation. You can either diffuse it, immerse yourself within it, or just move on and go about your day. The key thing to remember is what is going to be the most proactive for you in terms of positive growth. And the sad thing is that many people will immerse themselves in situations so much that it engulfs them and it causes them a string of future events that are highly unproductive to the direction they originally wanted to go in. Seeking justice is one. Immersing yourself in the belief that you are right and another cannot. There are endless reasons why people do it. But the invitation is to move on as quickly as you have a frustration and focus on growth, development, improvement based around positive emotions or emotions that you will receive as a result of good rather than bad. And the reason why that is key is because it disturbs your whole flow, irrelevant of what you believe to be true. Belief isn't the issue here. Having empathy is one of those things that does take conscious effort to start with. Looking at another not as the byproduct of their behaviour, but as a result of an internal frustration, pain, concern, anger, fear, resentment. It's actually irrelevant. Just understanding that their actions must mean that there is something going on that you're not privy to. And it can be tough, especially if an individual comes under attack. The natural thing would be, for most, to follow one of the natural built-in habits, which is fight, flight or freeze. But often a lot can be gained by doing nothing and observing and allowing that person to really understand for themselves, as they invest so much time and energy into that event, that actually it's a reflection of them and it's perhaps something that they would need to address. Because all the time that you're feeding fuel to the fire, giving ammunition for them to come back, and then it becomes a conversation, conflict. That's where things become unhealthy. That's where an individual will waste copious amounts of energy in attempting to justify their actions. The police use it as a tactic. They give snippets of information and they allow another to ultimately hang themselves, commit themselves based on a constant reel of self-justification. And that really just does one thing. Just highlights an insecurity in self. And that's okay, because we can't all be expected to be the best version of self at all given times. Everyone has struggles, everyone has things that they need to deal with. But it's important that in those situations that we, as the individual that has the knowledge, the intelligence, the learnings, to avoid the temptation to jump in with 2 feet and debate something that doesn't need to be debated. So it's about having empathy towards that individual and understanding that, one, not only are they the byproduct of their own frustrations, their own internal conversations, their own internal truths, at times given the freedom to express themselves in a way of which perhaps gives them the ability to experience some learnings for themselves. It's important for us to understand the same can be applied to self. If you think about it and reverse engineer that, I think other people should have empathy for you. Perhaps take that as the opportunity to reflect on self and think about the choices and the actions you've made. Because aren't we all striving for an element of self-perfection, self-evolution? I don't necessarily always believe in perfection. I think there's always room for improvement. But that is where the key is to understand that self can be better. That your projections, your behaviours are as a result of internal conversations. So for now, peace out and be safe.